What's that sound? It's for amusement only, the EM and Bingo Pinball Podcast. Welcome back to For Amusement Only. This is Nick Baldridge and my new co-host,
Ava Baldridge.
Hey, we're back. It's been
3 months.
A long time. I've been working super hard, and Ava has too, but on different things. So,
well, if you're working on the same thing, I don't know.
Then we'd be further along. All right. So first up, let's talk about some of the new games that we've been playing. They released a big update, they being Multimorphic, to Cosmic Kart Racing.
The internet play and
the single-player mode that allows you to play a standard 3-ball game. So previously, Cosmic Kart Racing had the arcade mode where you could race against 3 AI opponents, or you could play on a local network. So if you had multiple P3s, you could line them all up and play together. We only have the one. Likely only to have the one for the foreseeable future.
Until I convince my mom otherwise.
Well, yeah, and I would need to figure something else to leave if that were the case.
No.
Yeah, so
no.
At the moment, one is what we got. And we've been playing Cosmic Kart Racing 2.0 is what they call it. What do you think of the single-player mode?
I really like it. I have been playing it for a while.
About 3 months, right?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit about that time. I don't know. But it's...
So what do you like about it?
I like mainly the play of how it you have to complete stuff, except I usually cannot complete stuff.
That's my big problem, too. One of the neat things about Cosmic Kart Racing 2.0 is that each shot kind of progresses you towards something else that you need to do. It's kind of like Heist in that regard, but things stack a lot more clearly.
There's a lot more shots to
There's
make.
a lot more things to shoot at and keep track of.
Not necessarily things, because there's toys and like other things in Heist, yeah.
Yeah, so... The Cosmic Kart Racing playfield is one of my favorite to shoot because there's so many
it's
different
very
paths
cool.
the ball can take.
Oh, I just remembered something awesome. If you shoot the longest ramp, it's the right ramp, it will actually take your ball, well, like in the arcade mode, I'm going to skip ahead for a second. In the arcade mode, when you're playing, there's a little hole in the back of the playfield at the top, and it drops onto this ramp, and it scoots backwards, and it holds it there with a magnet, and then it counts down 3, 2, 1, and then it launches it super powerfully, which is awesome.
Yeah, the magnet assist on the ramp is super cool, and in Cosmic Kart Racing 2.0, the single-player mode, when you shoot the ramp the first time, the magnets kick on and help you get all the way up, even if you're not quite as good at hitting that square as you should be, which is really nice. And then that enables the ball locks. So the next time you shoot it, it'll lock a ball and hold it on a magnet. And then you shoot it again, it holds it on the next magnet. And you shoot it a third time, and it holds it and starts multi-ball, which is really cool to see. It's called Meteor Shower Multi-Ball, which I think is a great name for a multi-ball. What do you think about the graphics in the single-player mode?
I'm gonna be honest, they're not my complete favorite graphics of all time. I still like Heist a little bit more, I think, compared to this. I do really like the graphics. It's all well, obviously animated. But they're pretty good. Yeah, I like them.
It's like a space background, and then down in between the flippers is a star, and the star, when it's lit in a particular color, will enable ball return.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, if you're watching it, it's pretty cool. And then when your ball return is gone, then it'll change color.
Oh,
it's pretty cool.
How did I not know this?
I'm pretty sure, I would have to look at it again. I wish I was looking at it right now, but I'm pretty sure that when it's blue, you have ball return enabled, or ball save enabled. Ball return. I'm thinking bingos. Yeah.
Wrong game, Dad.
Ball save enabled. And when it is red, you do not. So what's kind of cool is that star is animated the whole time, but on the playfield, the different shots have very long chevrons that are animated, and they look great. There's not a whole lot of activity otherwise. There's some different things that pop up and so forth, but I like the clean and less cluttered look.
We can't talk today, if you couldn't tell.
Having a hard time here. So that's Cosmic Kart Racing 2.0. Like I mentioned, that's one of my favorite playfield layouts for the P3. Heist has a ton of things to shoot that are very interactive.
Yeah, they're not necessarily just ramps. Cosmic Kart Racing is basically all ramps or orbits or like
quick turnarounds. Yeah.
Some sort of way that is turning around the ball.
Mm-hmm. And it's so that's called in pinball terms, that's like a flowy playfield.
A flowy?
Yeah, because the ball just kind of flows back to your flippers and it's always moving. But one of the things that I appreciate about that design the most is that the shots actually change based on how much speed you have. So if you kind of limp it up and around the orbit, it'll stop partway through and then drop into a hole.
Yeah, or if you shoot it on the left side, I think, and it will make a U-shaped turn. Or, like, there's a bunch of different ways. Like, you just have to play with the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Layout?
No, like, powerful, what's the...
Speed?
Kind of, yeah. Well, we'll just go with that.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it's really fun, and I've got something cool to talk about with that. But before we get into that, they also released the update, which you talked about earlier this episode. For
Internet Play.
Now, Ava, would you believe that there are people who say that is not fun?
No.
No matter what the thing is, there's always going to be people who don't like something for some reason.
Now, the thing is, the only thing I don't like about this version is that if there is no one online, you won't be able to play, basically.
Well, yeah. I mean, there have to be other people to play with. So what they did is when they released the update, they said, hey, let's all get on Saturday and be on for an hour. And so you and I jumped on and we played a whole bunch of matches. You and I took turns.
I did not win any.
Are you sure?
Yes,
I thought you won one.
No, I got second place one. I didn't win one.
Well,
I lost to the stupid computer. This isn't fair.
I demand a rematch. It was a person.
No, it was one of them was a computer.
Oh, that's right. So the way that it works, it's like a matchmaking service, and depending on who's online, you'll get matched up with them. But if there are not enough players that are online currently and you want to start the match, or the host wants to start the match, then it'll fill out the rest of the slots with AI. And so Ava lost to an AI one time.
Which isn't fair. I demand a rematch.
Well, but playing against humans, what did you think about that?
It's very fun and a unique experience compared to just like computer playing. But it is very challenging in the beginning when you start playing it. Just I think because you're trying to focus on so many different things, like you're looking in the corner, who's ahead of me now?
That's the thing that I found, is that I was paying a lot more attention to that map when I'm playing against humans than I do when I'm playing against the computer.
I don't even think I realized it when I was playing against AI.
I've been lucky enough to play in LAN Play, that's the local area network. When I went to Texas Pinball Festival, Multimorphic had a big booth. Right, she's pointing to a badge. Multimorphic had a booth, and they had multiple P3s, and so they were showing off the network capability, and that was really fun. But yeah, playing solo, at least for me, I almost never look at that map. You know, I might glance at it once or twice, but it was like constantly I was looking at that thing on the internet game.
Like you're like you always have it in like your peripheral vision. It's always like you're hitting the ball, but you're always like sideways glancing. That would actually look kind of creepy if you were standing next to the person just eyeing you suspiciously.
But it was cool. I mean, we were playing against people on different continents and couldn't tell. I mean, it was super smooth.
The usernames are also very interesting.
Yeah. A lot of interesting names out there, but everybody kept it clean, thankfully. So it was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do that again. I think maybe we should set up some kind of recurring thing. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, like once every week or two, and get together and spend 30 minutes or an hour, and
yeah, that would be fun.
See who walks away with the champion.
It will be me against the stupid AI because I deserve to win.
Well, yeah, nothing beats the human opponent, though. I just think that is so cool. It's neat to. It's like Mario Kart, Cosmic Kart Racing. If you haven't played it before in the arcade mode, so there's power-ups and you can use them, and those power-ups will sometimes influence the other people. So Ava and I are playing, and the walls and scoops pop up because somebody used an item against us. It's pretty neat.
Oh my gosh! I just remembered something ridiculous about this. Okay, so basically whenever I play arcade mode or the online internet mode, I always shoot the same ramp over and over again. Like, I wish it was green, but I've already shot it before, so it just so then I can't get anything else except for like the one thing in the beginning. But then I'm like constantly shooting it. So it'd be great if it was for any other pinball machine except for this.
Yeah, so that's Cosmic Kart Racing has just a tremendous number of LEDs. I think it's 900 and some.
It is ridiculous. It like glows.
It's all over the back third of the playfield, and the light shows are really cool. The little chase modes and so forth with the different colors. But Ava was mentioning green shots, and in single player arcade mode, you want to hit the green shots because they make you go faster. In the internet connected version, you're assigned a color, and so that color's shots are the ones that you need to hit. It's really straightforward. I'm super impressed as a networking guy, just how smooth all the networking was.
Networking guy, that's your new nickname.
Thanks.
Hey, you put it on yourself.
So, that's Cosmic Kart Racing. If anybody would like to play online, just shoot me a message and we'll get that started.
I'm smiling, though you can't see it.
Yes, and if you would like to have Ava destroy you,
I don't know about that.
You can also shoot me a message. So, next up, let's talk about a different game.
I wonder what it is.
It's called Quest for Glory.
I've never heard of that before.
So, I have been working like crazy on this game.
A long, like, if you were here, you would know how long he's been working on this for. He's been working on this project, like, the programming portion, not even the rest of it, just the programming, which is, I mean, obviously the main part, but, I mean, but he's been working on that for, like, what, a couple...
probably
4 months.
Yeah, the whole project started about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's only 5 months ago.
It's been a long time.
It's close to 6 months.
Also, I was a fairy.
Yes. So what we've done is recorded all the voices, either placeholders or real ones. Ava, her sister Sophie, and my wife Molly are all fairies.
It's fun. Their lines are ridiculous.
So the fairies you come across in one specific screen and only at nighttime. Mm-hmm. And if you are rude to the fairies, they make you dance until you die.
Dance.
So it's really fun. The whole game is really fun and clever. And
it's very funny. Like, when you read the dialogue or listen, it is, like, it's very funny.
But, of course, I can't take any credit for that. That was all...
well, yes, it was all the game.
By Lori Cole, and she and her husband, Corey Cole, worked on the original game. And
oh my gosh, even their first names.
It's a masterpiece.
Rhyme.
Lori and Corey, yep.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so I have been working on that. I have been creating and fixing a ton of bugs.
A ton.
Just this weekend alone, I have fixed about 70 bugs.
What?
Yeah, which some of them are extremely minor, some of them are really major. But the whole thing about the system, this is a pretty complicated pinball machine. It has a day-night cycle, which proceeds automatically. So after you sit on the screen for a particular amount of time, it'll switch to the next phase of the day.
Are there more than just like day and night? Are there like evening?
There's 4 different phases. So there's dawn, day, dusk, and then night. Yeah. And different things happen at different times of the day and also on different days. So it keeps track of the number of days in game that you've been playing.
Also,
yes.
Something that is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You can save in it, which is ridiculously helpful, even though I can't seem to get it to save. But we're not going to talk about that. Anyways.
That's all
Well, no, I couldn't. I literally couldn't shoot the shots.
Oh, you couldn't hit. So in order to save the game, you have to hit.
It's like Lexi. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Also, it's using the Lexi.
It's using in lanes and out lanes.
Yeah.
So the different lanes, you have to light all 4, and then it will save your game. Every time that you shoot all 4, it also advances the day-night cycle by 1 position. So if it's on dawn, for example, it advances to daytime. So the bugs in that are pretty heinous and sometimes really hard to find because there are things which are influenced all throughout the game, and if I fix a bug in how the day-night cycle operates, then it can break everything that relies upon it.
Just so you know, this isn't like a simple game at all.
Right.
It's the most complex pinball I've ever seen created so far. Like, well, not...
Well, thanks.
Well, I've only seen a couple created.
I don't know about
that,
but it is...
It's very, very complex. Since it is a role-playing video game,
mm-hmm.
to switch all that over is a lot.
Yes. And it's a lengthy game, too.
Mm-hmm.
For me, who's making it, I know the solutions to all the puzzles and so forth, but if you don't...
No fair.
Yeah, it'll take you a while. The other thing about the game that increases the length of time that you would play it is that there are 3 different character classes. So you can start and pick if you're a fighter, a magic user,
or thief.
Yes.
Ow, I just stubbed my finger. Is that a thing?
It is. Depending on which character class you choose, different puzzle solutions will be available to you, and those puzzle solutions will present themselves as different shots on different screens. So there are 70 different screens, and each of them I am paying a background artist to redraw the original artwork and expand upon it.
It looks really weird without the people. Like, you can talk to the people,
mm-hmm.
but you can't physically see the people. It's like the background work is all done. Well, most of it, I think.
A good chunk, yeah.
Yeah. So, but not all the character artwork is done. So when you play it, you're basically, when you're supposed to be seeing a person or like a monster.
There's nobody there.
There's nobody there. It's like talking to a ghost.
Right. That was my ghost voice.
Kind of creepy.
Well, yeah, I've been thinking about putting in placeholder artwork for that.
Thank you. It's very creepy without the actual people.
I've done it for the monsters, but I haven't done it for the other things.
Not
the people.
Good enough.
Anyway,
I'm judging his work.
I did stream the last build that I had on the physical machine a few weeks ago. Put that on my YouTube channel, and I'll be streaming again in
shortly.
Another week, maybe.
Once
I finish,
problem is fixed.
Yeah, there's a couple of relatively large bugs that I would like to see resolved before then, because they impact being able to continue your game at a later time.
Also, thank you for everyone who watched it.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you in advance if you plan to watch the next one. Also, big thanks to Multimorphic, who has been just extremely patient with answering all of my questions. They have done a fantastic job of making sure that I have everything that I need. Their software development kit is very fleshed out and provides the programmer with a ton of stuff. But obviously, with the scope of the project that I'm doing, there are some things that I need which are not present in the SDK, and I've presented those to Multimorphic, and they've taken them into consideration for the next version. So I'm excited that perhaps some of the stuff that I'm doing can help other people indirectly.
Also, if you're from Multimorphic, thank you.
Yes. And just thank you in general for the E3 and all the awesome games, because we are having a blast. So, the current status of the game is that I need an additional 20 backgrounds completed and about 30 to 40 different sprite animations.
Are those the characters?
Yeah, those are characters.
Okay. Good.
But the sprite artist is not very fast. He's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I really like his artwork. But...
Yeah, he's done a good job. And of course, these artists are translating 320 by 200 resolution artwork into 1080p artwork.
Basically meaning not very good into very good.
Well, it's very good, but it's just very small.
Yeah, it's
like postage stamp sized into high definition screen sized. So they're having to draw a lot of extra elements for the animations. Of course, in the originals, there's just a small handful of pixels. And the artist is completely reinterpreting those. And
by the way, the graphics are amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So you didn't draw them, Daddy.
I didn't, but I have been orchestrating them. I've been
fine. I will give you some credit.
Thank you. Anyway, the music is all in there now. Some of it I have reorchestrated. I would love to reorchestrate more, but some of them have upwards of 10 or more pieces. Within 10 or more instruments, and that becomes very difficult, as I've found when orchestrating with the session musicians that I've been contracting with. They're not necessarily it's not easy to get them to play a piece. I'm trying to describe it in a way that's not insulting. To get them to play a piece of sheet music that they're unfamiliar with. Not everybody has that skill or ability, so a lot of the musicians that I'm contracting with require extra steps be taken. So I'm looking at the sheet music, and it all makes sense. I provide the file, I can hear the notes on the sheet music, and it all looks good, but when I provide it to a session musician, sometimes they come back and say, I can't figure out what tempo I should play this at, or things of that nature. And it took quite some doing. So rather than focus my time on that, I've been focusing on the programming, and then I can circle back and do the music later. For now...
It does sound very good, though, I will say.
The original soundtrack is amazing, and I've had a lot of fun on the reorchestrated pieces putting that together.
Do you get to pick which instruments?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
In the original, it's something called MIDI, so it's all played with a keyboard.
You know what would be cool?
What's that?
Just came up with an idea for a soundtrack.
Let's hear it.
If you did multiple versions, this is like something for the future after you finish this, but like if you did multiple versions of the soundtrack,
mm-hmm.
So like an acoustic, a regular, a classical.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you say that.
Are you going to do that?
So I've done that for the main for the main theme in the game. It's played by 8 different instruments. So there's a classical guitar. There is a trumpet. Harp is used on one of the tracks, but not that one.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's used in Irana's piece. That's
no idea what that is, but okay.
She hasn't played very much of it, but you have played it a little bit. So
yes.
What are your impressions aside from the artwork?
I like the gameplay. The only thing is it's difficult.
Yeah.
So in the game, when you're playing it, if you don't know P3, it has 3 buttons on the side, and they're all used for different games in the P3.
Mm-hmm.
But they're So my dad decided to use all 3 of them. So it's kind of difficult to think about what you're doing while maneuvering your hands. But the good thing is that you can hold the ball in the flipper while you're playing. So that's usually what I do. I usually like shoot it. Well, first I have to catch it because it shoots out of
the ramp.
Yes,
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word. It shoots out of the ramp, and so first you have to catch it before you can hold it, and then once you hold it, you can move anytime without holding it, but it's just a lot easier. Like 10 times more easier.
Specifically moving your character is what you're talking about, right?
Or like talking to someone. So there are 5 different things that you can do, I think.
That's right.
Which is talk, walk,
yep.
touch, look, and
use.
It's like the 5 senses.
Sort of, yeah.
But different.
There's no here.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so for walking, you only use the buttons. In fact, the ball isn't involved at all.
Only one, actually, no, you use more than one button. Never mind.
Yeah, so you use the flipper buttons to choose which exit you want to take.
The normal ones.
And then you use a different button to select that choice.
Yes, and then the 3rd button is used to select talk, use, walk, take, whatever.
Right.
Pleases your fancy.
So if you're not in the walk mode,
you cannot.
Then that 2nd button changes the item that you would use in the use mode.
Yes.
So for each of the different modes, aside from walk, chevrons will appear for the different shots that you need to make. So, for example, if you put it on talk mode and you're on a screen with a person, then you can probably talk to them, and a chevron will appear, and you hit that target.
Wait, probably talk to them?
Well, not in every case. Maybe they're a monster. Probably not talking to a monster. I don't know. Maybe you are. Anyway. So you hit that, and then it'll offer dialogue choices.
Yes.
One of the things that's kind of unique, not really unique, there's other games that have done this before, but it's kind of unique for a modern game, is that there's a maximum score. And that maximum score is always displayed down in the apron.
This is something that I just added recently.
I've had this since the beginning, I think.
Oh, no, never mind. I'm thinking of the high score thing.
Yes, that I just added. So you can earn a maximum of 500 points. Okay. So for each character class, there's a separate path to 500 points. You may be able to complete the game without hitting 500 points.
Just so you know, 500 is a lot more difficult than it sounds.
50 is harder than it sounds.
It's like, okay, so 500 is like 1 million in Heist if you've played Heist. Or like
it's like 10 million, I think.
It's like the highest of like any, like if you thought one Heist score was difficult, this one is out.
It's pretty challenging. But I did just add, like Ava was saying, high score mode. So in the attract mode, it'll scroll through credits, and I added 2 of them.
Yes. One for like the regular playing mode, and one for people who have beaten the game for like everyone who has beaten the game shows up on the list.
The last 10.
The last 10 who have beaten it, like the last 10 who have played, or the last 10
who've beaten it. And it'll
no, like the last 10 who've like beaten it, or the last 10 who have the highest score. Just the last 10 who played and beat it.
So for the high score table, it shows you the 10 highest scores. So if there were 10 people that earned 500 points, then there would be 10 500 points in the list, each with their name.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And you choose your name in the beginning, so it knows who you are when the game ends. So it fills that out automatically. You don't get to put in your initials because you do that in the beginning.
That's another cool thing, is that you get to make a profile.
Yes.
So if you're wanting to play it again, I guess.
Yeah, save your progress.
Yeah, save your progress. It's literally like a video game, but in a pinball machine.
Yes. It's quite a bit faster than it would be in many video games.
We're not in the 90s anymore.
And that's exactly when this game was made, 1990.
Exactly. My point.
So, the second high score table, the one that Ava was talking about that lists game completions, it also lists the date that the completion was made. So in this way, I was thinking, even if the main high score table's filled up with 500 points and it's unlikely that you'll get on there,
very unlikely,
you can still place on the secondary high score table as many times as you're able to.
Wait, so you're setting 500 as the default high score?
No. The high scores range from 50 points all the way up to 500 in the default table.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's definitely, room for you to place on there, no matter where you wind up with it. And as I mentioned, that high score entry is automatic. So there's nothing that the player has to do. I'll see if that's actually a good idea because, that takes some of the thrill out of it. Knowing that you placed on there, you'd have to look in the attract mode and watch it to know. But I also added credits, and the credits are fairly extensive. There's quite a few different voice actors and musicians and so forth which have contributed to the project already, not to mention the artists. So it's nice to have that in there and done. I've been collecting those names for so long. This is one of the last things that I had on my list.
It's like taking attendance for 1,000 people, but you don't know their names.
Well, I know their names, though.
Well, now you do.
At any rate, so that's going well. And
wait, am I in the credits for being a beta tester?
No, but you're in the credits as a voice actor.
Not good enough.
Whoa.
We're all, except for you, but you have the establishments of...
Too.
What? Oh, yeah, you are.
Because I will replace my voice with other actors.
Hello, my name is the sheriff. I had to think of a character.
That's not how that.
Not accurate at all.
So that's what's going on. If you would like to hear a more detailed breakdown, kind of week by week, as I've been doing this, I also do another podcast called Gaming on 10, which is about video games. I do it with Don, formerly of the Pinball Podcast, and we talk about this typically ending the show each week. Mm-hmm. And that's been going on the whole time I've been absent.
A lot of video game talk, so if you like video games...
Yes, if you like video games...
head over there. Or Dance Dance Revolution.
Well, there is DDR Corner, and every
Wait,
week...
there's literally a corner.
That's what I call it, yeah. I've called it that since the beginning.
You should make a special designated corner in this house. And just corner. Call it DDR Corner and put a giant poster saying DDR.
Makes sense. So
it does.
I'll link that in the show notes along with the link to the stream if you're interested. You can see that there. And Ava, guess what?
What?
I've been thinking about my next P3 game.
He never takes a break. Someone tell him that he needs to take a break.
Well, we'll talk about breaks a little later on because I actually have taken a couple breaks. But I agree. I never stopped developing. So the thing that I'm working on now is going to use... Quest for Glory uses the Lexi Lightspeed playfield, and the next game is going to use the Cosmic Kart Racing playfield.
I wanted Heist. I was smiling, and then when I heard that it was going to be Cosmic Kart Racing, I literally deflated.
So the game's theme kind of precludes the use of
I want
Heist. I know. We'll have to work together to come up with a theme that works with that.
You know what would be cool? Is if you did a superhero theme for Heist, since it's a...
I like that. That's pretty cool.
Like Cityscape.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see if I survive this second one.
But you would have to make...
I've been working hard.
She
just punched me.
No, I didn't.
So
I'm a nice, innocent person. Are you trying to frame me?
Anyway.
No, he's not.
So I'm working on that a little bit. But I'm going
a little bit?
Just a little bit so far.
Just a little.
To
him, a little bit means 10,000 hours.
Haven't been on it for 10,000 hours yet, but
10 hours.
Getting there.
15.
Not quite.
20.
Anyway.
25. 30, 35,
So,
40, 45, 50.
I'm not ready to release the name yet, but I have purchased a domain. So,
Dang it, you told it to me the other day and I already forgot again.
She was going to try and spoil it this time, but nope.
No, I wasn't going to try and spoil it, but I literally forgot it. I've forgotten it like 3 times now.
That's all right. I'll tell you later. And I'll tell everybody else.
No, I had to trick you into telling me last
You did.
time.
She acted like she knew it. I was like, oh yeah, it's this.
I didn't act like anything. He just told me. I just asked him what it was, and then he told me.
Well, hey, it works.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's other games I'm working on too. You know Robo Frenzy?
Yes, I do.
That cabinet which is full of stuff, but no artwork.
It is currently sitting in our basement, not looking pretty. There's just a bunch. Right now, it basically looks like a giant plywood light bobber thing.
Very descriptive.
I know. It looks weird. It looks like kind of like an arcade machine spider, but there's no legs. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a ton of lamps in it, and
which look like eyes when they glow.
Without the artwork, it does look strange. So
it's interesting.
That's the
Anyways,
thing.
But this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, Ryan Clater is the artist for it, and he has been very busy.
He's a very good artist too.
He is absolutely a very good artist, and I'm very excited to be working with him on this game. He and I came up with the design and everything. So
this is your first arcade game?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's purely electromechanical. So this is a scratch build electromechanical game, and it is far more complex than any production electromechanical game I've ever seen. Electromechanical arcade game. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, Ryan's been kind of backburnering this for a long time, and we've been working together on Coin Op Carnival #2, which is hopefully going to be out next year. 2021.
Like in January?
No commitment on the month yet.
This is because he has too many projects,
yes.
People. This is why he needs to take a break.
Anyway,
you're trying to get off topic here.
No taking a break. So Robo Frenzy will hopefully be done at some point soon, but Ryan has committed to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, and we've been
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
We've been collaborating, briefly each Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Robo Frenzy.
Every time you're saying Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm gonna go Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And that sounds perfect. I say that all the time, so that'll work out.
No, you don't. It's literally like the rarest thing you say.
So in other game news, I've been working on multi-races as well. There's a couple of physical tweaks that I need to make before it makes its next show appearance. One of which is backglass artwork.
Da-da-da-da.
So at the moment...
Wait.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
About artwork.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for the back glass.
Okay.
It's just...
In general?
Yeah. Well, it's for the pinball.
Mm-hmm.
For the cabinet. Are you spray painting? So, for his multi-bingo,
mm-hmm.
you spray painted the cabinet with stencils.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to do the same thing for multi-races? Because I really want to do artwork on it.
Well, if you've got a design... Right now, it's using the inoffensive design from Victory Derby. So it's just pinstriped, basically, on a flat color. And it works. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But the cabinet is such
This is basically him giving me as much freedom.
Yeah. If you've got a design, I'm happy to look at that. And especially if it's a stencil design. I love stenciled artwork, so... Well,
you'd have to make a stencil, because I don't have...
Yeah, we can work on
a specific giant stencil of something.
Well, I've shown you how I make them with poster board and then an X-Acto knife. And you
okay, the last time that you made one of those, I was...
A couple years younger.
9.
Was it that long ago?
When did you start making it?
I think you were...
9.
Really?
9.
Okay.
I was either 9 or 10. It doesn't matter. But anyways...
Or 11?
It does... No, 11 was last year. Actually, Okay, we're not going to go into detail.
All right.
Anyways.
So I've contracted with another artist who is also fantastic, named Joel de Guzman.
Or another artist named me.
Well, Joel has been fantastic. I've been talking with him about the project. He's excited to do it, and yes. I'm looking forward to seeing his finished artwork. Have you seen his artwork for American Pinball? He did this character for them, and it looks really cool.
I haven't seen that, but I have seen Ryan's work. Actually, Ryan has done an artwork for me that is amazing. Oh, that looks good. Oh, he's showing me the artwork right now of Amy Pin.
Yeah. So this is one that Joel de Guzman made for American Pinball, and he's fantastic. You know, one of the fantastic pinball artists that I've seen, and I'm really looking forward to having his art on the machine. I think it'll complement the game. So that's multi-races, and hopefully in the next bit of time, I will...
Bit of time?
In the next several episodes, maybe.
He's saying... He never says stuff like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or bit of time. So I'm just
only for the podcast.
I'm only making fun of him. Don't worry.
So
Ava, it's not permanent.
There's a new segment, which I think we should start. There's a new segment.
Hey, I said we should start it. Stop stealing my ideas.
By I mean you.
Yeah, right.
Let's talk about what
copyright, Dad.
Let's talk about what we've been working on. Does that sound good?
Yeah, my idea.
All right, why don't you start?
Since I came up with it. I have recently been on, not a couple weeks ago, I was on Lauren Gray's podcast, the Backbox Pinball Podcast, which she interviews a bunch of women in pinball. I was part of her Little Flips segment. That was very fun. She is like the nicest person ever. So yeah, you will link it in the show notes, right?
I will. If you haven't listened to that, I would suggest it. Ava talks a little bit about Turf King.
Yes, our game from many, many years ago, if any of you remember.
Not that long ago. But you were 8.
8.
You were 8.
Okay, you remembered that one correctly. Congratulations.
Well, that one was documented.
Was it now?
So, yeah, if you would like to hear more Ava, she is...
Hey, wasn't multi-bingo documented?
Oh, you know what? That's a good point.
See?
Anyway, so Ava was on the Backbox Pinball Podcast. Check it out. I have been working on naps. That's been a thing I've been doing.
He's been sleeping, which is actually good for him.
Yes, so I've been staying up super late working on Quest for Glory.
And playing video games.
But mostly working on Quest for Glory.
Yeah, he has done a lot of Quest for Glory.
Yeah, they did release a new Persona, and I just can't
Don't get me started.
Okay, I won't. So I've been taking...
Hey!
I've been taking naps, taking little breaks, trying to keep my batteries recharged because
Thank goodness, because otherwise background music gets stuck in your head.
Alright, so what's next for you?
I have recently dyed my hair again. Only the bottom half. Well, not even the bottom half. It's like the bottom third or whatever.
What color?
So a couple years ago, I dyed my hair purple, blue, and aqua.
All at the same time?
All at the same time. It was like gradient. And it wasn't all my hair. Because...
some of it was someone else's hair.
No! I mean... He doesn't like me.
What?
Anyways... I dyed it aqua because that was the color that most pops on my hair because my hair is brown, like dark brown, not as dark brown as yours. Yours is like black hair.
Mostly gray now, but
it's not gray. It looks kind of silver actually.
Thanks.
And but yeah, so
dyed hair.
Yeah, aqua.
Yeah, looks good.
Thank you.
When I was your age, I dyed my hair a whole bunch.
You should see the pictures. Oh,
are there any that
my
exist?
Gosh. Okay, not from my age, but like when you were in high school.
Oh.
Yeah, he was rocking a mohawk. He was in punk bands. He was wearing a leather jacket that he still has that weighs 10 million pounds.
Yeah. So
seriously, I don't know how you could walk in that thing. It is so heavy.
You get used to it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Anyway.
Anyways.
Would you like to hear what else I've been working on?
Besides your napping skills?
Yeah, my napping skills are on point now. I think they're getting better every day.
Are they on point? I don't know.
They're pretty great. Speaking of on point, that's a thing you're doing. But anyway, I've been helping people.
That was the weirdest.
I've been helping people fix their games, like I usually do online or on the phone or whatever. That has slowed down considerably because I've been programming all the time when I'm not at work.
Well, and you can't go to the houses anymore.
Right. Yeah. So that has stopped. The actual in-home service, but
it's like what are they called when doctors?
House calls.
Yeah, house calls. It's like house calls for pinball, except he can't do them anymore.
Right. But I have been talking people through their problems online and on the phone and so forth. I do that all the time. But Mark came up with a great idea, which is...
A great idea. Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll, please.
It's an EM online repair clinic.
Thank you for saying it in the correct order. By the way, that took us like 4 tries.
Anyway, the idea is that owners can get together on a video call with what Mark calls coaches, which are people who are willing to talk them through their problems and look at schematics and so forth.
It sounds like PE.
Okay. And I did it one time as a coach, and I thought that was a lot of fun and a really great idea.
So you're a PE coach? So you're qualified to play soccer and football and hockey?
Talked people through their problems, and I thought it was a good use of time. It was like a couple hours. Showed people how to read schematics and find their problem.
Schematics are fun to read.
I love schematics.
Turf King schematics were great.
Yes. Bally did a great job with their schematics, in my opinion.
He taught me how to read them.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best reading. I don't know if I got it
all. You're out of practice now.
Well, yeah, I was like 4 years ago.
It's time. And I had you work on that slot machine, too. The Super Circus. Which
was very fun. And it didn't take very long compared to our other projects that we've done.
Yeah, the difference being that there's just a lot fewer parts, but it did have what's essentially a mixer motor in there, and Ava took that completely apart and put it back together.
It was disgusting, just so you know.
It was disgusting.
It was like revolting.
Yeah, and the assembly was really weird. It was all held together with gravity.
It was interesting. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
If you have that game and you understand why it's suspended, well, not suspended, but like it's in gravity, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's really strange.
And disgusting.
It was disgusting, yes. It was full of goo, but
yeah, and we had to clean it with a teeny tiny Q-tip. And keep in mind, this thing is not small. It's made up of steppers, and it's like all connected by this one pole, basically.
Mm-hmm. One giant motor shaft.
It was very interesting. But anyways, we're not talking about that. We are talking about the EM Repair Clinic online. Woo!
Yes, so I'm going to link to the thread on Pinside that talks about that. Mark has set up a sign-up sheet, and I'll link to that as well. If you're interested in being an observer, there are observer spots as well. It's well worth the time, I think. You know, everybody can learn something from everybody else, and I think it's a really neat use of your time. So, Ava, what's next for you?
I am excited because so me and my sister are homeschooled, But because of COVID, everyone is homeschooled now. But originally, me and my sister were homeschooled anyways. But our school ends in a week. June 5th, I'm waiting. Counting down the days, the hours, the minutes, the seconds, the milliseconds.
That's good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's really soon. So what are you going to do in the summertime?
So, I am planning to still do my math course that I'm taking online. I'm planning to be reading more. I know I sound like I'm total geek, but
hey, you're my kid.
I'll play some video games.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. And I will hopefully be playing outside more.
Mm-hmm.
Still distancing, but we live in a cul-de-sac, so there's I get to bike around a lot. Mm-hmm. Although my bike is too small.
I've heard a lot about this in the past couple days, so hopefully we'll take care of that before the next episode. We'll see.
So I won't be complaining to you.
Or taking my bike.
Yeah, I'm currently using a mix between my mom's bike and my dad's bike because I am too tall for my bike, but my sister is the right size for my bike. So now she has my bike, I use my mom's bike or my dad's bike, my dad uses his bike, my mom uses her bike. It's just a mess. But anyways.
Yeah. So
yeah.
The other thing I've been working on is Coin Op Carnival, which won the Space Prize, the Small Press and Alternative Comics Expo first place for graphic novels.
A round of applause.
Yay! Well, thank you, Ava, and thanks to everybody who voted for that. It's much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ava, what's the last thing you've been working on?
I have been playing acoustic guitar, which finally I've decided to actually pick up and use. Mm-hmm. I asked for it a couple Christmases ago, but I finally started to put it to some use. But yeah, it's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Dad has been my judge.
Well, yeah. It's one of those things that if you stick with it, it'll be a lot of fun, I think.
Me and my friend are starting a band over over Duo.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting because she doesn't have an actual keyboard, but she knows how to play a piano. So she has
okay.
So she has a app on her computer where she plays the piano on her computer while we're FaceTiming, and I'm playing the guitar on the other side.
Huh.
It's very interesting. So we're like a weird band of two people who one is using a real instrument and one is using a computer.
That's these modern times. Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk? And lastly, our dog, his name is Thor, like the superhero Thor. I said we need to give him a tiny hammer and a cape, and then he'll transform into the real thing. But yeah, he is doing great.
Very good. All right, so...
Very good. You act like you're not frustrated.
The last segment on the show is we talk about a game. And Ava picked a random year from 1931 to 1978, and the
I thought it was 72.
She settled on was 1959.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which is the year that Bally's Ballerina was produced. This is a bingo
yes.
pinball
If you
machine.
listen to my Lauren Gray podcast, you know why I picked this one.
Yeah. So, this game is a magic screen game.
Yes.
It has a couple of features which set it apart from the other magic screen games. It has a magic screen that goes all the way to letter H.
Da-na-na-na.
There's
Well,
only one other game that
why
does
are
that.
there arrows, though? There's...
I'll explain that.
Okay.
So, when you first earn the magic screen, it lights A, B, C, D. Every time the magic screen unit advances, it lights either an arrow or the next letter. So,
wait, you have to light the arrows too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
It takes a while. So what they did is they made it so that the rollovers here are separate from the time tree. So on most Magic Screen games, the rollovers will advance the time tree automatically. On this game, what they do is advance the Magic Screen positions.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. So on your first ball, if you manage to hit the rollovers and they're lit.
Wait. I have a question. Does this one move the background around?
Yeah, it's a Magic Screen.
So it moves?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it rotates on a chain.
Magic Screens are so cool, by the way, if you haven't ever played one. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're some of my favorite bingos. That's one of my favorite features that they ever invented.
Ba-dum-ba-dum.
So the other thing that sets it apart is that it's got this top row feature. So the top row on the playfield, the numbers 1 through 7, can be flopped.
The funny thing about the top row feature is it's on the top row of the back glass.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that. But if you hit there's 2 buttons, 1 to 7 and 7 to 1. It'll change the alignment.
1 to 7, 7 to 1. Dun, 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 dun.
So if you sink a ball in the number 1 on the playfield and then hit 7 to 1, it'll change that to the number 7 on the back glass.
So you have to do it in 1 to 7,
either
2
reverse
or 6.
order or regular order.
But you have to do it in that specific other...
And you have to...
That's terrible. I would never
really
do it.
It's very confusing to me. But the number 4, obviously in the same position, no matter which.
Yeah, it's really weird because it looks really bold compared to the other numbers because they're all so tiny because they have to fit, obviously, 2 numbers and then the word or. But this one's just 4, like, very...
out there.
Bold.
So, Ava, why don't you talk about the theme for the game?
The theme, I might say, is about, you guessed it, ballerinas.
So, is there a specific ballet that they're referencing here? We're looking at the playfield, and it looks like a castle in the background.
I have no... Basically, it could be Swan Lake.
I was thinking
Swan Lake. Although, I have no idea, because... If it was, all their costumes are off. And by the way, if you are a ballet dancer like me, you would know you cannot dance outside with your
Well, they're
shoes.
On a stage. See, there's a
curtain.
There's a curtain.
But it looks exactly like outside.
Like they're on
the
the
scenery
grass.
Is too good.
Yeah, whoever decorated their set did a great job.
Yeah.
And here they're dancing on sand, which I feel like is probably easier, right? She just gave me a look.
But it's really great artwork. I really like the artwork.
It's really pretty, yeah. There's birds surrounding the
and there's
card.
A lake.
There's a lake with boats on it.
Maybe it's all the way.
Are there boats in Swan Lake?
No.
Yeah.
It's
They're
some
swans, right?
Yeah, it's some sort of ballet. They probably took every scenery,
common trope,
and put it together and then just put ballerinas in.
Yeah, that's possible. But
yeah, the most common one that I could think of right off the bat would be Swan Lake. But
I think they were trying to evoke that idea for people.
But we'll never know.
Not without talking to the artist, I guess. So one of the things that I really like are well-drawn curtains in backglass artwork.
That annoys me so much if they're...
Curtains?
It's just the randomest thing.
Well, I think they're cool.
Well, it's also... No, not if they're good curtains, but if they're poorly drawn curtains. It annoys me so much, and I have no... Probably because I am on a stage. I've been on
because you see the curtain.
Many stages before, but it just annoys me so much.
So the traditional bingo gameplay takes place in this game. You get 5 balls for a nickel, and you can put in additional coins to try and earn extra features and increase your scores. So I've brought up an image of the back box thanks to Dennis Stodel and his contributions to the Internet Pinball Database. And we're looking at the mixer motor on the back door.
And it looks exactly like the one in Super Circus, yeah.
That we were talking about. Except this
one is clean.
It's clean, first of all, but also it's mounted horizontally instead of vertically. So instead of being held together by gravity, it's held together with... what you
hardware
would come to expect, metal. So I'm going to link to this picture.
There are 2, I think, different types of ballerina pinball machines.
That's
so
right.
you have to look for this specific one.
Yeah, I'll link straight to this image, which will show them the other images for this one as well. So this is a great game to play. I find myself playing it a lot, mostly because when I programmed it for the multi-bingo, I managed to make a ton of bugs in that 1 to 7 7 to 1 feature.
Great.
It was, I don't know why that...
Maybe it was just like your off day. It was just your off day in programming.
I don't know, but for whatever reason, when the game would restart, it wouldn't reset that...
it just wanted you to spend more time on it.
It did. It wouldn't reset that relay. So the way that I programmed it, it's just a relay, just like in the game.
Yeah.
And so the relay, when it's in one state, everything is 1 to 7. When it's in the other state, it's 7
to 1.
So when it restarts, it just lets go of the relay, and then it's 1 to 7. But for whatever reason, that was broken. So I've put a lot of play time on this in the multi-bingo.
It's a very fun game, though. I recommend it.
Yeah, and you've played it quite a bit on the multi-bingo as well.
Mm-hmm. It's, well,
have you played a real one?
I might have played a real one. It would have been a while ago, though.
Yeah, I don't know that you have, but I have.
We had the playfield downstairs, though, mounted on the wall.
You know who's got one?
Who?
Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then I have definitely played one.
He didn't have it in his house when we went to visit. So.
Oh, then never mind.
But anyway, it is a fun game. I really enjoy it, and if you have the opportunity to play one, I would suggest that you so.
Or get one.
Or get one, even better.
And if you were wondering what the inside of the Super Circus looked like, it looked exactly like this, but vertical and much less pretty.
Yeah, and fewer components too.
Yeah, it's basically just the top rod that's mounted on.
Yeah, that mixer motor is what that's called. Is basically what Super Circus looks like inside.
Except relays. I think Super Circus has more steppers, like sets of steppers.
Has one stepper, and then it's got a bunch of relays.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was like that. Treacherous to clean.
It was, yeah. So anyway, thanks very much for listening. I know this was an extra long version. We've been away for a really long time.
Well, you did. It's like 2 podcasts in one. Even better.
Yeah. So thanks for joining me, Ava. And
yes.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you would like to get in touch, you can reach me at foramusementonlypodcast@gmail.com, or you can call me on the Bingos line. That's 724-BINGOS1, 724-246-4671. You can listen to me on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast via RSS, on Facebook, on Twitter at Bingo Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, also at Bingo Podcast, or you can listen to me on my website, which is foramusementonly.libsyn.com. Yeah. Thanks very much for listening.
Wait.
And
keep flipping.
I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.